Yeah, happy to welcome you all to this session also from my side. I will briefly give a short overview of our project so that you all know what we're talking about. Let me jump right in. First of all, why did we start this project? I don't want to go into too much detail here because I'm sure most of you know about the situation in Bangladesh's garment sector. I just want to emphasize once again that the problems or challenges that I'm listing on this slide do not only apply to Bangladesh, but to the whole industry. What we're facing are persistent labor rights violations and environmental risks, a lack of independent rights holder-driven data for effective risk assessment, and a lack of functional grievance mechanisms and communication structures. So we have grievance mechanisms in place, but most of them are not as functional as we would like them to be. And we also do not really have equal dialogue between different stakeholders, such as affected workers, businesses, and government actors. Why did we start this project? On the other side, we have increasing legal due diligence requirements for companies. For example, if we take a look at the German Supply Chain Act, which requires a thorough risk analysis and preventive measures. Or if we take a look at CSDDD on European level, which is hopefully still to come, that emphasizes stakeholder engagement. This is something that we in our project not only emphasize, but actively live. Companies must ensure meaningful consultation with rights holders. So what we have is a need for data-driven rights holder-focused due diligence. And our goal in this project is to provide reliable insights through our rights holder-based monitoring mechanisms, which we are calling worker and community-based monitoring. We want to support due diligence efforts by improving transparency and accountability. We will implement and scale up concrete improvements at factory level using the results. And we will also use the results for dialogue, for example, with authorities to minimize pollution and health risks. Key to our approach is a multi-stakeholder partnership that involves many different local and international stakeholders, as you can see on this slide. For example, local trade unions and also brands. Through worker and community-based monitoring, we create awareness and facts. And special about our partnership is that we take into consideration environmental, living, and working conditions, because these are all interconnected. We are living the intersectional approach. Based on the facts that we create through our rights holder-focused monitorings, we will establish sustainable dialogue structures between all stakeholders on eye level. Both social and environmental risks are closely intertwined in the textile industry, and this is where the strength of our project approach lies. We are addressing the challenges that I mentioned earlier through rights holder-focused data collection in Sabah, Bangladesh, specifically via worker and community-based monitoring, or WM and CBM. The insights gained from both approaches will not only inform risk assessments, but also serve as a foundation for establishing sustainable dialogue structures between all stakeholders. These structures are essential to ensuring that findings translate into concrete improvements on the ground. Beyond that, we are also committed to raising awareness and advocating for better due diligence, both in Bangladesh and in Europe. In the following slides, I'll briefly introduce these key project parts to you before my colleagues then provide deeper insights and before we head to the plenary discussion. What is worker-based monitoring? In order to obtain reliable data, we conduct interviews with workers outside of the factories where they are able to speak more freely in order to get an authentic picture of how their situation at factory level is. This rights holder-driven data will then be used by trade unions who, in dialogue with factory management, will work to improve the situation. Responsible for the worker-based monitoring within our project are WageIndicator, BLF, BILS, and they're supported by Mondial F&B. The textile industry also has an impact on the surrounding communities. Many workers live close by. That's why, in addition to the data collection in factories through worker-based monitoring, within our project, we take a look into 3 selected communities where residents are empowered to collect and document environmental risks and health hazards, for example, skin issues or water pollution. Additionally, soil, water, and hair samples are also taken that provide insights on the environmental situation in the community. The data will then be used in consultation with authorities to improve the situation for residents. The responsible project partners for this are ESTO and Hey Support. So we have a combination of worker and community-based monitoring, where rights holders are put at the center. We know what their current situation is, and based on this data, we will then take remedial action. Besides the monitoring approach, we focus on awareness and advocacy in Bangladesh and beyond. And one example for this is the incident website. It documents incidents within the textile and garment sector in Bangladesh, as well as other important production countries. And therefore, it is a tool for identifying existing challenges and risks in the textile sector that should, as a next step, be eliminated. Our cases have a link to the brands, multi-stakeholder initiatives, and sustainability standards if known. And we invite you to use this website in order to track your own risks and, as a next step, eliminate them. Please note, we do not list all cases, but rather focus on incidents that highlight the biggest challenges and problems. We also invite you to send us suggestions for other possible cases that should be included on the website. You can access it via the QR code or the link in the chat. And the responsibilities for this part of the project lie with Südwind, Inkota, Femnet, and Hey Support. Now you might ask yourself how you can engage. To make this project even more successful, you can support and participate in our data collection. We're actively looking for more stakeholders to join. From my perspective, this project is one of the few truly promising solutions when it comes to strengthening the agency of rights holders. It creates real opportunities for affected workers and communities to voice their concerns and be heard in due diligence processes. If you want to know whether your factory is already covered under our first round of data collection or check out whether you can join for the next round, please get in touch with us now. You can see the contact details on this slide. It will also be shared again at the end and then sent around with a follow-up mail. Please also stay informed via the two websites that I've mentioned here, mywage.org.bd from Wage Indicator and our incident website. And of course, we would love for you to join our pilot project. So if you're interested in that, please also get in touch with us.